Welcome to the third video in sections 1 and 2. Here we'll be converting between imperial units. So let's revisit some unit conversions that we learned in a previous video. We know that 1 foot equals 12 inches, 1 yard is 3 feet, and 1 mile is 1,760 yards. So in example 1, we are asked to convert the following using the given unit conversions. So we have 3 feet, and we need to change that into inches. So to do this, we're going to be multiplying by a fraction to ensure that we always get the right units. So which conversion are we going to use in A? Well, since we're going from feet to inches, we will use this relation. 1 foot is 12 inches. So let's start, we'll write 3 feet. Now we're always going to multiply by a fraction like I said. So now what fraction do we multiply by? Sometimes you may write 1 foot divided by 12 inches, or sometimes you'll write 12 inches over 1 foot, like we will do here. So how do we know which way to write the fraction? Well, you're going to want your 2 units to cancel out. So that means the foot would have to be in the bottom in order to cancel out with this foot here. So now we're left with 3 times 12 over 1. So that's just 3 times 12, which is 36 inches. Now let's look at B. Here we have to convert 42 feet to yards. So now which conversion do we use for this one? We'll use the middle one. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. So let's start by writing 42 feet multiplied by 1 yard over 3 feet. So I wrote the fraction this way so that this foot would cancel with this one. Now this time I have to do 42 times 1 divided by 3, or simply 42 divided by 3. And that works out to be 14 yards. Now for C, we have to change 60 inches into feet. So we will use the first conversion again, because this one relates feet and inches. So I'll write 60 inches times. Now in A, I went from feet to inches. In C, I'm going from inches to feet. So you'll notice that I'm going to set up my fraction a little bit differently. I'm going to multiply by 1 foot over 12 inches this time. The fraction is flipped because I want this unit to cancel with this unit. So now I have to do 60 divided by 12, which leaves me with 5 feet. Now for D, we have 4 miles, and we have to change that to yards. So we will use this conversion this time. So I'll write 4 miles times 1,760 yards over 1 mile. So let me cancel the miles and then multiply 4 with 1760. That will give me 7,040 yards. Now for example 2. In A, we have to change yards to inches. Now looking at my 3 conversions above, I don't have a conversion to go directly from yards to inches, so I need to use 2 conversions to get there. I'll start by changing the yards to feet, then I can change the feet into inches. So let's start. I have 5 yards, then I'm going to multiply that by 3 feet over 1 yard. I'll cancel my yards, and then I'll multiply 5 with 3 to give me 15 feet. So now we got to change this to inches. So we have 15 feet multiplied by 12 inches over 1 foot. So cancel the units and then multiply 15 with 12. That would give you 180 inches. So sometimes you may need to use multiple conversions to get what you want. Now for B, we have to change 2 miles into feet. So once again, I don't have a direct conversion from miles to feet, so let's start by changing miles to yards, and then yards to feet. So let's start. 2 miles multiplied by 1,760 yards over 1 mile would make the miles cancel, leaving me with 2 times 1,760, which is 3,520 yards. Now let me take that and change it to feet. I'll multiply that by 3 feet over 1 yard. Canceling the yards, and then multiplying 3 with 3,520, I get 10,560 feet. Now one more example. In A we had 11 feet, and we got to change that to yards and feet. So let's start by changing yards to feet. We have 11 feet. To change this into yards, I will multiply that by 1 yard over 3 feet, so that the feet can cancel. Now I need to divide 11 by 3. Now 3 doesn't divide into 11 evenly, so what we need to do here is change this to a mixed number. See how many times 3 can go into 11. 3 goes into 11 3 times, so we have 3 full yards. Now how many feet are left over? Well, 3 times 3 is 9, and if we started with 11, that means we would have 2 feet left over. So 11 feet is 3 yards and 2 feet. So let's try that again with this example. We have 30 inches. We got to change that to feet and inches. So we'll use our first conversion to start by changing the inches to feet. So I'll multiply 30 by 1 foot over 12 inches. So now when I cancel the inches, I'm left with 30 divided by 12, which once again doesn't divide evenly. So let's change it to a mixed number. 12 goes into 30 2 times, which means I have 2 feet. Now, 2 times 12 is 24. You start with 30, that would mean you would have 6 inches left over, because 30 minus 24 is 6. So that is how you can convert from one unit to another in the imperial system. You can now move on to the next video in this lesson.